Colonial Pathology in Nervous Conditions. Nervous Conditions is a novel by a Zimbabwean author, Tsitsi Dangarembga. The novel published in 1988, and it was her first novel. The novel takes place in Rhodesia in the late 1960s and early 1970s. The novel centers around two main female characters, Tambo and her anglicized cousin Nyasha, growing up in colonial Rhodesia. The novel told from Tambo's point of view. Now, let me introduce the characters of the novel. Tambo, the main character, lives with her family in Amtali. She wants to educate. She moves to live with her uncle to study. She starts to be close to her cousin Nyasha. She goes to the mission school and receives a scholarship due to her diligence. At the end, she starts to think about everything around her in a different way. Tambo's family: Mineni, her mother, Nahamo, her oldest brother, and her father, Jeremiah. Her uncle's family: her uncle Baba Mkoro, Migoro, her uncle's wife, her cousins, Chido and Nyasha. The novel starts with Nahamo's funeral, but Tambo is not sad actually about her brother's death, because after his death, she gets the opportunity to educate instead of him, which means that Tambo will move to Baba Mkoro's home. At first, Tambo feels strange because her cousins Nyasha and Chido don't speak Shona, and Shona is the main language in Rhodesia at that time. Nyasha and Tambo start to be close to each other. Then, Tambo starts her education in a mission school with Nyasha. Tambo noticed that Nyasha is rude with her parents, and later on, she finds that Nyasha has no friends in the school, and all students don't like her because they think Nyasha acts as a snob. Then, Tambo gets a scholarship to attend the nuns' school, and she promises Nyasha that she will keep sending her a letter every week. At the same time, Nyasha feels sick because she follows a diet that keeps her thin. Tambo at first feels sad that she can't be with Nyasha, but then she was busy in studying and she doesn't respond to Nyasha's letter anymore. Tambo's mother is afraid now about her daughter, and she keeps warning her about Englishness and advises Tambo to think about what happened to Nahamo and Nyasha may happen to her. At the end of the novel, Tambo starts to ask herself about everything around her, and what if her mother was true about what she said to her. Colonialism affects people in Rhodesia, especially Nyasha and her family. It causes a lot of problems and changes in Nyasha's life. My first point is that changing the customs was one of the results of colonialism in Nyasha and her family's life. Tambo's uncle's family's education causes a negative side in Nyasha's life. While Nyasha's parents, Baba Mkoro and Migoro, get a scholarship, all Nyasha's family moved to England, which allows Nyasha to gain a lot of Western customs. The first change is the Western style of dress, which is not acceptable in Rhodesia's families. Tambo says there was no other explanation for the tiny little dress she wore, hardly enough of it to cover her thighs. Tambo shocks when she sees Nyasha's dress after they back from England, because it was too short to wear in such a place. The second change is in the language. Tambo noticed that her cousin can't speak Shona. Tambo says, I racked my brains for other English words that I could slip into my sentences to help her understand what I was saying, but it was no use. Nyasha forgets how to speak her tongue language and prefers to speak English, because according to her family, English is supreme than Shona. According to Deepika Perry in her article, Disembodying the Corpus, Post-Colonial Pathology in Tsitsi Dangarembga's Nervous Conditions, that Nyasha wants to look like a Western woman who are beautiful and have a perfect body, so As a result of the colonialism, Western custom makes Nyasha follow the diet that keeps her thin and beauty, which makes her sick at the end of the novel. According to Melina Papinchik in her article, The Trauma of Colonial Condition, Nyasha's hybridity is the result of the years she spent in England. So Nyasha's deep cultural hybridity is developed and performed unconsciously due to her early exposure to English socialization. The second point is that colonialism was a reason of changing traditions and identity in Nyasha's life. According to Payman Beharvan and Bahman Zarenjoui in their article, the formation of a hybrid identity in Tsitsi Danguembiga's nervous conditions. Nyasha's father, Baba Makoro, forces Tambul's parents to have a Christian wedding at church, which means that he preferred the European traditions than Shuna's. While Tambul refuses the idea of the wedding, Nyasha supports her father's thought and asks Tambul to relax and believe on him. Nyasha and her father replace their Shuna's tradition with Christianity, which is a really bad idea for Tambul. According to Katerina Daly Thompson, in her article The Mother Tongue and Lingual Hysteria, Nyasha continues to smoke, talk to boys at night, and dress in short skirts, makes her lose her identity as a young Shona girl. Nyasha brings the Western traditions with her after she back from England, and she still uses erudicia, which is something that people would not accept it for a young girl. Because losing your traditions means losing your personality and your identity. Colonialism may have positive and negative sides in any country. In nervous conditions, Tsitsi Danguembiga shows to us the negative side and effects of the colonialism in Nyasha's life and her family. So, changing your language, your religion, your traditions, and losing your identity are not always necessary to be successful or to have power in your life.